Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, we're going to be breaking down the NBA slate on Draftkings and Yahoo for Tuesday, February the 1st. Now, we do have a 7-game slate today, and as always, guys, we're going to talk through each one of these 7 games. We're going to break down each team, kind of give my early thoughts, what I do like, taking a first look at this slate on Monday night. And then as we do go through each game, we little bit out an early core. We'll talk about 5 players that specifically stand out to me on both DraftKings and Yahoo. But as always, these are my first look at the slate. Nothing is set in stone, especially with NBA, and we kind of saw that on Monday's slate. There were so many guys that got ruled out during the day that we didn't expect to be out. Embiid, Sabonis got ruled out. Some other guys were out too. Jimmy Butler. You got to pay attention to the injury report. You got to pay attention to news during the day. Right now, looking at this slate on Monday night, we have some really key questionable guys. Jokic questionable, Harden questionable. Some of these teams are on back-to-back, so we're going to have to see if Jimmy Butler plays. Obviously, he was out Monday. We could see maybe the Warriors rest some guys since it's a back-to-back. You got to pay attention to the injury updates, to news. I do provide a lot more updated content over on Patreon, so if you want to check that out, it's linked down below in the description. It is the first of the month, and that is always the best time to join Patreon just because of how their payment system works. They charge you when you sign up, and then they charge you at the first of the month moving forward. So basically, if you join at the first of the month, you're getting the most value out of your membership. So if you guys want to check out the Patreon, it's linked down below in the description. You can get access to all of my updated DFS content, my core plays, my rankings, my favorite plays at each position. You can get in our Discord chat as well, where you can ask me questions throughout the day up until lock. Always in Discord to help you guys out, answer your questions. And I also give out my favorite prize picks plays each day for Patreon members. So that's another bonus you get if you become a Patreon member. Get access to my favorite prize picks plays. Get access to the entries that I am playing myself. The entries that I am putting my own money on. I will share those with Patreon members. So if you want to check all that out, it's linked down below in the description. If you are new here and you have not signed up for prize picks yet, they are the sponsor of this video. You can go check them out. Sign up. Use code NOAH when you do. And they'll give you a 100% match on your first deposit up to $100. PrizePicks, very simple DFS site to use. It's more player prop based focus, so you're just picking the over or the under on players' projections. You can check out their board for Tuesday. They do already have some stuff posted, and there are some picks I do like at first look. Just taking a look at the board already, there's some things that do stand out to me that I'll for sure be sharing with Patreon members on Tuesday. So if you want to check all that out, guys, it's linked down below in the description. If you want to sign up for PrizePicks, use code NOAH when you do, and they will match your first deposit up to $100. But let's take a look at this Tuesday slate. We're going to start off with the Pelicans and Pistons game. So looking at the Pelicans today, they are one of the teams that, we're going to have to watch the injury report because they are on a back-to-back. We saw J-Val, Josh Hart, and Brandon Ingram all questionable for Monday's game, and Ingram ultimately wound up sitting, whereas J-Val and Hart both played. J-Val and Hart could maybe sit today since the back-to-back. We don't really know. I'm guessing that Ingram will probably be out again. Ingram's been questionable for I want to say a week now, and he's been out for a week straight, so and especially with how the Pelicans, with how bad they are with their record. I mean, they have nothing to play for. They really have no reason to bring Ingram back quickly. So I think Ingram probably sits again at 8,400. Or if he does play, 8,400, he's an okay option. But I don't think he's really going to stand out on this slate. I think J-Val at 8,300 kind of looks appealing. Really good matchup against the Pistons. The Pistons, not really that good of a defensive team, especially against bigs. This is definitely a spot where we could see J-Val have a big game. I think his usage would be up if Ingram were to sit again. It was a tough spot for him against Cleveland on Monday, but this is obviously much better matchup against the Pistons. So I think J-Val would be in play. Would like him more if Ingram sits. I think same could be said for Josh Hart. Probably would only go there if Ingram's out, and if he is, I think Hart at 6,800 is a fine mid-range option. This game's close. Josh Hart's going to play high 30s in minutes. And at this price point, he can definitely pay off that price tag if he does play 35, 36 minutes here. The rest of the Pelicans, though, I'm not too excited about. Devontae Graham, Herb Jones, NAW. I don't think I'm really going to be going to these guys. Just don't think I'm going to go there on this slate specifically. I think it's really just J-Val and Hart that I'd be looking to from the Pelicans. And then on the Pistons side, the Pistons are not a very appealing team today. They're getting Jeremy Grant back. They're getting Kelly Olynyk back. So, Jeremy Grant coming back, that's going to take away from guys like Cade Cunningham, Sadiq Bey, Hamidou Diallo. Those guys have already been kind of trending down. Not Cade really, but, Sadiq Bey and Hamidou Diallo have really been trending down. I definitely wouldn't be on them with Jeremy Grant back. Now, Cade's been playing well lately, and he's had some big games. 59 DK points last game against Cleveland, had 69 against Denver, 49 against Utah. He has shown a big ceiling. there is still a really low floor for Cade Cunningham just because he, has been really up and down this year. Obviously, the Pistons get blown out a lot. Cade's kind of been dealing with foul trouble a lot this season as well. But I think if this game stays close, like we do get probably 36, 38 minutes from Cade. I think with Jeremy Grant now back, the upside for Cade may not be as high. He's playable, but I really don't see much I like from Detroit today. I mean, they're probably one of the least appealing teams on this slate. They're pretty much fully healthy now. Just not much stands out here. So we can move on to the next game, Washington and Milwaukee. So Washington, they're going to be a team we definitely want to focus on because they're going to be without Bradley Beal today. And the pricing for Washington really was not adjusted for Beal being out. Kyle Kuzma and Spencer Dinwiddie, I think, are both two of the biggest beneficiaries whenever Beal is off the floor. And I think both guys look great on the slate. 7,400 for Kuzma, 5,900 for Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie definitely one of my favorite plays for sure at first look. On Yahoo, I think both guys look great as well over there. $23 for Dinwiddie, $32 for Kuzma. I mean, without Kuzma, without Beal, you just see like a big usage bump for both Kuzma and Dinwiddie. We've seen both these guys play really well whenever Beal has missed games this year. I know Kuzma was crushing like every night whenever Beal was out. I think his role is going to be really good. He's going to play big minutes. He's going to take plenty of shots. He's been rebounding really well this year. I think 7,400 for Kuzma. Like I'm fine paying this price tag for him. We were paying almost close to 9K for Kuzma not too long ago when Beal was out. So 7,400 for Kuzma, totally fine with that. 5,900 for Dinwiddie, way too cheap. I mean, Dinwiddie without Beal this year has just been like a completely different player. His role without Beal is just so good. He's going to have the ball in his hand so much. He's a lot more aggressive offensively whenever Beal's off the floor. His assist numbers are way up without Beal. He's just a way more productive player. He's a guy that should be priced like around 7K whenever Beal's out. Getting him at 5,900 is a big discount. So I think Dinwiddie and Kuzma both look great. The rest of Washington, I'm not as excited about. Do want to mention that Thomas Bryant did start at center last game. Now he did not play a ton. He only played 20 minutes. He did get into some early foul trouble. Like, I don't know what to think about Bryant here. Like, if you played DFS last season, like if you're not really new to NBA DFS and you played last year, Thomas Bryant, and really since he's been with the Wizards, he's been a really productive, like, point per minute player. He's always had, big time upside whenever he's gotten minutes. So far, in the limited minutes he's played this season, he hasn't been as productive. But if he does start again, like 3,500 is probably too cheap for Thomas Bryant if he does start. Daniel Gafford did not even play last game. He was a DMP, so they basically just kind of split the center minutes between Bryant and Harrell. I'm guessing that's what they're going to do today. Bryant probably plays like 22, 24 minutes. Harrell probably plays like 22, 24 minutes. I think Bryant for 3,500 looks like a decent value play if he does start again. He's probably the other guy I'd be considering from Washington outside of Dinwiddie and Kuzma. But that's probably it from the Wizards. And then on Milwaukee, Giannis at 12K, really expensive, but I think Giannis is obviously a strong play here. I mean, every slate Giannis is on, he is someone you can always consider paying up for. The one worry here is that, there is some blowout risk in this game. I think Milwaukee's favored by like 12 right now. Without Bradley Beal, there's obviously a possibility that Milwaukee comes out here and just blows out the Wizards. But, man, if this game can stay close, like I think Giannis plays 34, 35 minutes, and we've seen when he gets his full minutes, like he can smash. And you're probably going to be playing a couple Wizards today. It's hard not to go to some of these Wizards guys. If you want to run it back with Giannis and just hope the game stays close, like I think you could get some really good games from Dinwiddie, Kuzma, Giannis if this game stays close. So I think Giannis is definitely my favorite play from Milwaukee. Middleton and Drew at their price points, I'm not really that high on. Same with Bobby Portis. The rest of the Bucks, I don't see much appeal going to. So that's really it from this game. We can move on to the next game, Miami and Toronto. So Miami, kind of another team we'll have to watch the injury report. Jimmy Butler was questionable on Monday and did not play. We don't really have an update yet for Butler for Tuesday's game. I'm guessing that he plays. I'm assuming they sat him on Monday so that he could play today. So I'm expecting Butler to be back. Now, Kyle Lowry, on the other hand, don't really know. He's been out for personal reasons for almost like 2 weeks now. We don't really have any update on Kyle Lowry, so I'm guessing that Kyle Lowry will be out again. If Jimmy Butler plays, I think at 9,200, especially if Lowry's still out, I think Butler is a fine option to go to. He's had some really good games lately without Lowry. He's been starting at point guard. His assist numbers have been way up. His rebounding numbers have been really good. He's got triple-double upside. I think Jimmy, if he plays, is solid. I think Bam is not as much of a priority, but still playable. I would like Bam a lot more, though, if, Jimmy sits again. I think Hero could be viable, too, if Jimmy sits again. Now, Hero, I did play on Monday's slate with Jimmy and Jimmy and Lowry both out, and Hero was really, really disappointing. He shot the ball terribly, played 29 minutes. It was a massive blowout. pretty much Hero and Bam were both really bad Monday with Jimmy and Lowry both out. But I would be fine going back to these guys if Jimmy sits again. If Jimmy plays, then I don't think they look as appealing. And the rest of Miami, guys like Vincent, Robinson, Strus, Caleb Martin, like these guys I'm only considering if Jimmy sits. If Jimmy plays, I don't think I'd be going to any of those guys. So going to have to watch the injury report here for Miami. Kind of a tough team to break down until we get some updates on Jimmy and Lowry, who are right now I would say questionable. But then on the Toronto side, so Toronto on back-to-back for them as well, but I think we can expect pretty much everyone to play here. And we kind of know the deal with Toronto at this point. The 5 starters, Siakam, Van Vliet, OG, Scotty Barnes, Gary Trent, those 5 guys are all going to play 35, 36 minutes if this is a close game. On Monday against Atlanta, you have Siakam play 41 minutes, Van Vliet played 39, OG played 36, Scotty Barnes played 36, and then Gary Trent, I think, played like 41. So basically every starter for Toronto played at least 36 minutes on Monday. I'm guessing if this is a close game, we get at least like 35, 36 minutes from all 5 starters. Now, at their price points, do any of them stand out as like priority plays today? I don't think so. But if you're playing multiple lineups, you can definitely be mixing and matching these guys. Gary Trent, I do want to mention, just because he's been playing so well lately, you look at the last 4 games, 42, 40, 53, and 46 DraftKings points. His shot attempts have been way up. He's been shooting the ball way more. The minutes have obviously been great for him. 5,800 I think is probably an appropriate price tag for Gary Trent, but with how much he's been playing, with how many shot attempts he's been taking, like with just how much more productive he's been as of late, he might be my favorite Raptor starter if I had to go to any of the 5. But I think all 5 of these guys are totally viable just because they're going to play so many freaking minutes if it's a close game, and they all have upside when they're getting 36, close to 40 minutes. The bench, though, from Toronto, I'm not really that interested in. Boucher and the rest of the bench guys I wouldn't be going to. It's just really the starters I'd be focusing on from Toronto. But moving on to the next game, Orlando and Chicago. So the Magic today, not that appealing of a team here. This is another game that has a little bit of blowout risk. Chicago at home, still missing Lonzo and still missing Caruso, but they've got Levine, they've got DeRozan, they got Vooch. Like, obviously, Chicago could come out here and just beat the crap out of Orlando. So I would be a little bit worried about these Orlando guys here. But if the game can stay close, like I think Cole Anthony at 6,500 does offer some upside. Now, Cole Anthony has been pretty inconsistent lately, and I think with Jalen Suggs back in the lineup, that has really impacted Cole Anthony. He just hasn't been as productive. He still offers some upside though. We saw him put up 52 DK points against the Clippers in 32 minutes. He did get up to 36 minutes against Detroit, which was good to see. His minutes normally in close games you're going to get around low 30s. Some nights you'll get like into the mid to high 30s. At 6,500, like I think Cole Anthony is a fine option. He's probably my favorite play from Orlando if I had to play anyone. Wendell Carter has crushed the Bulls this year. It's a revenge game for him, playing his former team. It seems like he always just does well every time he faces the Bulls. Last time they played, 28 minutes, 34 DraftKings points. I think at 6,200, like Wendell Carter is a fine option too. But like Suggs and Wagner and Bamba, I mean, these guys have upside because if the game's close, like they'll probably play mid to high 30s minutes, but I think they're all kind of priced to where they should be. Wagner's just been so inconsistent this year. It seems like he'll have a good game and then he'll have like 2 shit games, then he'll have a good game. He's just a tough guy to trust. I don't think he really stands out. Same with Bamba. Anthony and Wendell Carter Jr. probably my 2 favorite plays from Orlando, but in general, I really don't want to be loading up on many Magic here just because there's a lot of blowout risk. The matchup's not that great. It's a 7-game slate. We have other teams we can target. So we can talk about the Chicago side. Looking at the Bulls, I mean, when it comes to the Bulls, I think the big 3, Vooch, DeRozan, Levine, these are the 3 guys you're probably going to be looking to. Now, on this slate with 7 games, do any of these guys stand out as like top plays? I don't think so, but Vooch against his former team, I think is a fine option. Orlando's never really been that good offensively. Like, Vooch is expensive. He doesn't really project well for this salary, but I think he always offers like 50-plus point upside if you want to go there. DeRozan at 9,100 been the most consistent of the 3 big guys from Chicago. Last 5 games, 46, 54, 46, 51, 48. Like, he's been pretty solid. I think at 9,100, he's priced where he should be. I think at this price point, he doesn't offer a massive ceiling because even if he has a really good game and puts up like 52, 54 DraftKings points, like that's still like not great. I mean, that's obviously good, but it's not like going to win you a GPP. At 9,100, for DeRozan to put up like a GPP winning score, he's probably going to have to go for like 60 plus, and I just don't know if he has that upside playing with Vooch and Levine. And then Levine, it's kind of the same thing. Like at 8,800, he's playable, but does he really stand out at this price point? No. I don't think any of these Chicago guys are like great plays today, but they're at least viable. But in general, the Bulls are not that appealing of a team just due to the pricing. The pricing is pretty tight. I think all these guys are priced where they should be. Not really any of them stand out at their price tags. So we can move on to the next game, talk about Denver and Minnesota. So with Denver, big question mark right now with Jokic, currently questionable. I do believe this is the front end of a back-to-back. I'm pretty sure that Denver plays again on Wednesday. So I think there's a good chance that if Jokic does not play Tuesday, he'll play Wednesday. If he plays Tuesday, there's a possibility he could rest Wednesday. Tough to really gauge right now. Jokic normally is a guy that, even when he's banged up, he usually plays. Usually when he's questionable, he plays. But we'll have to watch this because it's obviously, it's slate impacting news. If Jokic doesn't play, that's going to make guys like Aaron Gordon, Will Barton, Monte Morris all look like really, really good options. I think all those guys would be very strong plays. Gordon and Barton would definitely be my two favorites because I think both those guys, their upside without Jokic is just so much higher. They're just completely different players. Their usage just goes way up whenever Jokic is off the floor. So I would really like Gordon and Barton if Jokic doesn't play. Whoever would to start at center. Right now, Boogie Cousins is questionable. I would think if Jokic doesn't play and Boogie does, that Boogie will start at center. We obviously know Boogie's a great point per minute player, so he would be a great value play if he starts. If he's out as well, then you probably see either JaMychal Green or Zeke Nahi start at center. So whichever one of Green or Nahi starts would be a good value. It's just, a lot's up in the air right now. If Jokic plays, obviously you can go to Jokic. Jokic is basically in play every slate. Going up against Cat, I don't worry about this matchup at all for Jokic. He should be able to dominate against Cat. Cat's never been a good defender. So I think Jokic, if he plays, is a really good option. If he doesn't, we can look to guys like Gordon, Barton, and then whoever starts at center for Jokic is going to project out as a pretty good value play if we want to go there. But we can go ahead and move on to the other side of this game and talk about Minnesota. So, Minnesota, right now we have some question marks with D'Angelo Russell and Patrick Beverley, both questionable. Even if these guys were out, I don't think there's going to be a ton that stands out for Minnesota. Now, last game without Russell and Beverley, we did actually see Jordan McLaughlin start at point guard. He would probably be the one guy I'd be looking to at 3,500. He did play 27 minutes, had 27 DK points. McLaughlin has normally been a decent point per minute player when he does get opportunity. So if he were to start again, I would actually have a lot of interest in McLaughlin for value. Cat and Edwards would both be fine, but in this matchup against Jokic, if Jokic plays, it's not really a great spot for Cat. I think in the past he's always kind of struggled against Jokic. Jokic is a good defender. Don't love this spot for Cat. Edwards at 8,500, I think is priced where he should be. He would obviously get a boost if Russell sits, but still don't think he'd be a priority play. Jared Vanderbilt, his role I don't think really changes even if Russell's in or out. He's going to play 25 to 30 minutes. Vanderbilt's one of these guys, when he has good games, it's usually because he gets a lot of rebounds and a lot of putbacks. He's not really going to create his own shot. You look at his field goal attempts, he's just going to, he's around the rim. He's a guy that's going to camp around the rim. He'll get alley-oops. They'll use him on pick and roll and stuff, but he's not going to, take many shots. He's not going to create his own shot. He's really reliant on putbacks, on blocks and steals. I guess at 5,300 he's playable, but I don't love Vanderbilt today. The rest of Minnesota I'm not too high on, so I think that's really it from Minnesota. I do want to mention that Malik Beasley did start last game. He did not play that well, but if he starts again, he's only 3,700, you could definitely throw him into the value pool with McLaughlin. Right now, though, I'm expecting Russell and Beverley to play. If they do, there's not going to be a ton that really stands out from Minnesota. So we can move on to the next game, talk about Golden State and San Antonio. So Golden State today, there is going to be some stuff to talk about here because it is a back-to-back for the Warriors. Anytime the Warriors are on a back-to-back, there's always a possibility that they do rest guys. Now, Steph did play a lot of minutes against Houston on Monday. Played 38 minutes. Now they're having to travel from Houston to San Antonio, which actually is not that far of a travel. But I still think there's a possibility that Steph could rest here on a back-to-back. If he does, obviously that would really benefit guys like Wiggins, Poole. They've already said that Klay Thompson will rest. It is a back-to-back, and he won't play on back-to-backs this year. Unless in the playoffs or something, but they don't even have back-to-backs in the playoffs. But I think with Klay out, we can definitely look to a guy like Jordan Poole regardless. Obviously, Poole would look great if Curry sits too, but with Klay out, I'm expecting Poole to start in place of Klay. I think last time, let me see, I can pull it up. So when they played Houston on the 21st, Klay was out that game, and I think we did see Poole. I'm pretty sure Poole did start. He played 32 minutes, had 31 Draftkings points. Point per minute wise, he's been solid this year. He plays way better whenever Steph's off the floor, but I'm sure they will stagger the minutes between Poole and Steph. So, Poole will get some time with Steph off the floor. Really, though, Clay being out is what's really big here because that's going to move Poole back in the starting lineup. That's going to boost his minutes as well. He's had some good games whenever Clay has missed this year in the back-to-backs that he has missed. So I think Jordan Poole at 5,500 looks really good today with Clay already ruled out. I like him quite a bit on both sites. If you want to play him on Yahoo, I think you can definitely go to him over there as well. $17 at the shooting guard position. I think Poole stands out as a solid play. Wiggins is fine. He's been playing really well lately. I think the price tag at 6,900 has gotten to a point where I don't think Wiggins stands out as a great play, but I mean, with how many minutes he's getting, with how much opportunity he's been getting lately, with how productive he's been, I think Wiggins is a fine option. Otto Porter did not play Monday. I'm guessing he will be back today. With him back, he probably starts. He's been starting lately. At 5,200, another guy that I don't think really stands out, but is at least playable because we have seen Otto Porter show some upside when he does get minutes. It's just that, even when he's starting, he's not guaranteed to play big minutes. He normally plays mid to high 20s, but he's viable if you want to go there. And that's probably it from Golden State. I don't really think I'd be going to anyone else on this team. I think with Clay out on the back-to-back, that really benefits Jordan Poole, and I like him quite a bit. If by some chance Steph rests on a back-to-back, then we could start to look to a lot of these other Warriors. But for now, just going to have to assume that Steph plays. And then looking at San Antonio, so San Antonio had a lot of guys out last game, but they are basically getting everyone back today. Dejounte Murray, we'll start off with him, 10,100. I think Dejounte Murray looks like probably one of the better pay-up options on this slate, up there with guys like Jokic, Giannis if you want to go to Giannis. I really like Dejounte Murray, though. If this game's close, we're going to get high 30s minutes from him, 36, 38 minutes. The Warriors' defense, especially without Draymond, is definitely way worse. This should be, a really, really fast-paced game. So far this season, the Spurs, they've been playing at the fifth fastest pace in the league. The Warriors have slowed down a little bit. The Warriors at the beginning of the season were kind of towards the top of the league in pace. They've kind of fallen to middle of the pack, but still, this should be a really fast-paced game. I think Dejounte Murray has a lot of upside here. We've seen, when games stay close and he plays his full minutes, he can put up 55, 60 DraftKings points any night. And last time they played the Warriors, he put up 53 DK points in 36 minutes. So really like Dejounte Murray today as one of the top pay-up options. I think Jakob Poeltl, even at 7-2, is a fine option. He's been playing big minutes lately, been really productive. We know Poeltl's always been a productive player when he does get time on the floor, and you look at the minutes, how they've been trending up. 33, 32 minutes, got 36 against Brooklyn, 39 against Philly. He's been playing into the upper 30s in minutes instead of the low 30s. So 7,200 for Poeltl, I think is a fine guy to go to. Obviously, without Draymond, he definitely benefits not having Draymond out there guarding him. Derek White at 6'1" is okay, but I don't think he really stands out on this slate specifically. Still playable, just because if this game's close, you're going to get mid-30s minutes from Derek White as well. But I think he's priced where he should be. The rest of San Antonio, guys like Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, Doug McDermott, I don't think I'd really be going to any of these guys. I think it's just the top three, Murray, Poeltl, White. That's where I would be looking to from San Antonio. And then last game of the night, the late night hammer, Brooklyn and Phoenix. So Brooklyn today, another team with some big question marks. Right now, James Harden is currently questionable. He was a late scratch last game. He was not on the injury report, and then he was announced questionable an hour and a half before the game started. Ultimately, did not play. He's once again questionable for today. We did get word that he did practice on Monday. So it seems like he's kind of trending more towards probable than questionable. For now, I am going to assume that Harden does play. If Harden plays, we obviously know that he has a lot of upside without Kevin Durant. I think at 11K, he's not a priority spend up for me. I probably would rather save salary and play, someone like Dejounte Murray. If I could find the salary to get up to a guy like Jokic, I think I'd rather go that route. But obviously Harden is viable. He has plenty of upside here with KD out. Same could be said for Kyrie Irving. Obviously Kyrie did really, really well last game with Harden out, but if Harden returns, I think at 9,600, Kyrie wouldn't be a priority spend up for me. I think he's priced where he should be. Do want to talk about the bigs though. So LaMarcus Aldridge has already been ruled out for this game. So I'm expecting Nicholas Claxton to be one of the biggest beneficiaries. Now, Claxton did actually start last game against Golden State, but he only played 17 minutes. Aldridge, I think, played 15 minutes before he got injured, and then we saw Blake Griffin get some time. They played James Johnson a little bit as well. But I think with Aldridge out, we can expect the biggest beneficiary to be Claxton. I'm expecting Claxton to start at center once again. The matchup against Phoenix is actually decent. Phoenix right now, without DeAndre Ayton, they're running out Bismack Biyombo and JaVale McGee at center, and neither one of those guys are elite defenders by any means. Claxton, when he's gotten minutes this year, he has been pretty productive. I think at 4,100, he looks like one of the better values at least at first look. We'll have to wait and see, what news we get during the day, if any other value opens up. But I do like Claxton quite a bit today with Aldridge out. I think on both sites you can look to Claxton. Now on Yahoo, he's a little bit more expensive there, but I think $17 at center, you could definitely play Claxton over on Yahoo. And forgot to plug in Dejounte Murray, but I do like Dejounte Murray at $47 on Yahoo as well. One of my favorite pay-ups over there too. But I definitely like Claxton, with Aldridge out. Day'Ron Sharpe didn't even play last game, so he's basically out of the rotation, it seems like. Don't really have any interest in him. Again, James Johnson and Blake Griffin got some run as, backup fives. 26 minutes last game for James Johnson. I don't think I'd be chasing that. I don't think I'd be going to him on this slate. And then Blake Griffin, he played 20 or 16 minutes, but I think if I was going to play Griffin or Claxton, I would much rather go to Claxton. I'm expecting Claxton will play, more than the 17 minutes that he got last game, because Aldridge did play 15 minutes before he got injured. I think there's a good chance we could see, 8, 10 of those minutes go to Claxton, and Claxton plays 26, 28 minutes today. So Claxton I like a lot from this Brooklyn team. I think Harden and Irving are playable, but at their price tags, I think they're kind of priced where they should be. The rest of Brooklyn, guys like Patty Mills and Kessler Edwards, I'm not really interested in. So I think that's it for Brooklyn. Now, talking about Phoenix real quick before we do end the video. So with Phoenix, the top two guys, Chris Paul and Devin Booker, at this point, both these guys are in play. They've just been getting so much opportunity. Chris Paul and Devin Booker have both been playing, close to 40 minutes in close games. We've seen the minutes really tick up for Chris Paul as of late, which is something we weren't seeing really at the beginning of the season. Chris Paul was playing 32, 33 minutes in close games. Now he's been playing, 40. You look at the last 5 games, 41, 40, 37, 37, 40. He's played at least 37 minutes now in 6 straight games. He's been really productive too. You look at the game log, he's got at least 50 Draftkings points in 5 out of his last 6 games. Chris Paul's just been on another level lately. I know he's really expensive, but man, with how well he's played as of late, got to think Chris Paul's a pretty solid option here. Same could be said for Devin Booker, who's been playing a ton of minutes. He's obviously, he doesn't contribute as much with peripherals as Chris Paul does. Chris Paul can get a ton of assists. He had 19 freaking assists last game. Chris Paul can rebound as well. Booker, on the other hand, is more scoring dependent, so I think the floor on Booker is a lot lower. I think he has just as high of a ceiling as CP3, but I'd probably lean CP3 over Booker if I had to choose one of the two just to go to, but I think both are in play. Mikal Bridges, I'm not really interested in, almost 6K. Bismack Biyombo, last game started at center, but only played 22 minutes. With JaVale McGee back, I don't know if the minutes are as secure for Biyombo. I still think he's in play at 5,500, but not a priority for me at this price point. Cam Johnson played a ton of minutes last game, was not that productive. He's been getting a ton of run, though, with Jay Crowder out. You look at the last 4 games for Cam Johnson. With Crowder out, he's played 38, 36, 37, and 36 minutes. So I think we can expect 35, 36 minutes from Cam Johnson if the game's close. At 5,400, probably priced where he should be, but a guy that offers upside just because he's going to play so many freaking minutes. And the rest of Phoenix, these guys, they've got a lot of bodies, or a lot of guys out right now. No Ayton, Kaminsky out, Cam Payne out, Jay Crowder out, Shamet's out, Abdel Nader, Dario Saric. They're running a really tight rotation. You're seeing big minutes for CP3, Booker, Bridges, Cam Johnson. Those 4 guys are probably going to play 36-plus minutes if it's a close game. Then you'll see, Biyombo probably play 24, 28 minutes. You'll see JaVale McGee play 15 to 20. Jalen Smith might get some run. Ish Wainwright played a little bit last game. And that's probably it. They're going to run an 8-9-man rotation. I think I'd mainly be sticking to the starters. I don't think I'd really be going to any of the bench guys from Phoenix. But definitely some appeal there just because of how many minutes they're giving, their main guys right now. It's hard to not have interesting guys like CP3 and Booker and, even Cam Johnson as well. But that's really it for this 7-game slate, guys. So I hope you did enjoy the video. I appreciate you watching. Again, if you enjoyed, hit that like button down below before you do get out of here. Hit that subscribe button as well. Go check out the sponsor of the video, PrizePicks. Go sign up for PrizePicks. Use code NOAH when you do, and they will match your first deposit up to $100 when you do sign up with my code. If you guys do want my favorite plays on PrizePicks each day, I give those out on Patreon. Again, you can check that out, link down below in the description. It is the first of the month, and that is always the best time to join the Patreon. So if you ever wanted to join, highly would recommend that you join, today or within the next couple of days, just so you're getting the most value and the most, out of your membership. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Appreciate you watching. Best of luck on the 7-game slate, and we will see you in the next one.